Nobody tells you the truth about what having a baby does to you. They tell you about the love. They show you the tiny socks and the hospital photo and the way the whole world goes soft for a second. And all of that is real. But there is another truth that lives right underneath it. The one no one says out loud at the baby shower. So here is what I want to do in the next few minutes. I want to tell you 3 things about becoming a parent that almost no one is honest about. The thing that happens to your sleep and why it breaks you in a way you did not expect. The thing that happens to who you are, the part that feels like grief and is not allowed to be. And the thing that happens to the 2 of you, the quiet fracture that even the happiest couples fall into without ever seeing it coming. Stay with me. Because the parents who hear this before it happens go through it so much more gently than the ones who find out alone at 3 a.m. Let us start with the sleep, because it is so much worse than they warned you. You think you understand tired. You do not. You have pulled all-nighters. You have worked doubles. You have flown across time zones and come home wrecked. And somewhere in your head, you have filed new parent exhaustion next to those things. A rough patch. A few hard weeks. It is not a few hard weeks. Here is what the research actually found. A study published in the journal Sleep in 2019 followed more than 4,600 parents. They tracked their sleep before pregnancy and for years afterward. And what they found is the part nobody puts on the greeting card. In the first 3 months after birth, mothers were losing around an hour of sleep every single night compared to before. Fathers lost less, but they lost it too. But that was not the headline. The headline was when it came back. Sleep did not return to where it started after 3 months. Not after 1 year. The parents in that study did not recover their pre-baby sleep until their child was about 6 years old. 6 years. So, if you are in it right now, running on broken pieces of a night, snapping at someone you love over nothing, forgetting words in the middle of a sentence, that is not you failing. That is a documented biological state. Your brain is doing the thing brains do when they have not had deep sleep in months. It struggles to regulate. It reaches for anger first, because anger is faster than patience. But here is where it gets harder to talk about. Because the sleep, you can at least point to. You can say, I'm exhausted, and people nod. The next part has no words ready for it. Somewhere in those first months, usually when no one is looking, you reach for yourself. The person you were before. Your opinions, your humour, your name that was not mum or dad. And your hand closes on air. There is a word for this that almost no one knows. The word is matrescence. An anthropologist named Dana Raphael coined it back in the 1970s, and a researcher at Columbia named Aurélie Arthan has spent years bringing it back. Matrescence is the developmental transition into becoming a parent, and the reason it matters is the comparison she makes. She says becoming a mother is, neurologically and emotionally, as total a transformation as adolescence. Think about what adolescence actually was. Your body changed. Your brain rewired. Your relationships shifted under your feet. You did not know who you were for a while, and everyone around you treated it as a known, named, expected stage of life. Now becoming a parent does the exact same thing to you. The brain scans show it. Grey matter actually reorganises after birth. And yet nobody hands you a word for it. Nobody says you are going through a second adolescence, and it is supposed to feel like this. So you feel like you are losing yourself, and on top of that you feel guilty for feeling it, because you wanted this baby, you love this baby, Both things are true at once. That is the part no one says out loud. You can love your child with everything you have and still grieve the person you were before them. That grief is not a betrayal. It is matrescence. It is the most normal thing in the world. Which brings us to the two of you. Picture this. It is 2 a.m. The baby has been up 3 times. One of you has been on the floor of the nursery for 40 minutes, swaying, jaw tight. The other one is in bed, half awake, doing the maths on who got up last, feeling that hot little flicker of resentment. And in the morning, the fight is about the dishwasher. It is never really about the dishwasher. Here is something a relationship researcher named John Gottman found, and it is one of the most quietly devastating numbers in all of parenting. In his research, about 2/3 of couples reported a significant drop in relationship satisfaction in the first 3 years after their first baby arrived. 2/3. So if it has happened to you, you are not the broken exception. You are the statistical norm. The happiest, most in love couples walk straight into this. They just do not talk about it, so everyone thinks they are the only ones whose marriage got quietly harder the year their child made them parents. And here is the mechanism, because the mechanism is the thing that sets you free. Remember the sleep. Remember the brain that reaches for anger, because anger is faster than patience. Now put 2 of those brains in one house, both depleted, both touched out, both keeping a private, invisible scoreboard of who has done more. Neither of you is being unreasonable. You are both running the same broken software. The capacity for patience, for generosity, for assuming the best about the other person, that capacity is not a personality trait. It is a resource. And sleep deprivation drains it from both of you at the same time. So the conflict is not a sign that you chose the wrong person. Most of the time, the conflict is 2 good people with no fuel left, fighting over the last drop of it. But knowing that is not quite enough. Because in the moment, at 2 a.m, it does not feel like biology. It feels personal. So what do you actually do? If you only remember one thing from all of this, remember this. In the hardest moments, you have to name the real enemy. And the real enemy is almost never your partner. The enemy is the depletion, the sleeplessness, the relentlessness of a tiny human who needs you at a level you have never been needed before. The couples who come through this are not the ones who never fight. They are the ones who learn to stand next to each other and point at the problem, instead of standing across from each other and pointing at each other. It sounds small. It is not small. It is the difference between us against this and me against you. So you build little things. You say the unglamorous sentence out loud. I am not angry at you. I am running on 3 hours of sleep and I have nothing left. You take the scoreboard, the one tracking who did more, and you put it down because the scoreboard has never once made a tired person feel more loved. And you tell each other the truth that the world skips, that this season is brutal, that it is supposed to be hard, that needing help is not failing. You go in expecting the love, and the love is there. But you also go in expecting the depletion, the loss of self, the strain on the 2 of you. And because you expected it, it does not get to convince you that something has gone wrong. Nothing has gone wrong. You are just becoming parents, and no one told you the whole truth about what that costs. So here is the truth no one wants to say out loud, said plainly. Parenthood will take your sleep for longer than you think. It will hand you a kind of grief for the person you used to be, and that grief sits right alongside the love not against it. And it will test the two of you in ways the wedding day never warned you about. None of that is the tragedy. The tragedy is going through all of it, convinced you are the only one, convinced you are failing, convinced the exhaustion and the lost self and the hard nights are proof that you are doing it wrong. You are not doing it wrong. You are doing the single hardest, most transforming thing a human body and a human heart can do. And now you know what it actually asks of you. So you can meet it a little more gently, with yourself and with the person doing it beside you. If this said something you have felt but never managed to put into words, leave one honest sentence in the comments. Not the highlight reel, the real one. Because somewhere another tired parent is going to scroll past at 3 a.m. and feel maybe for the first time that they are not alone in it.